So we're going to start from page 50. We're going to go from the topic checklist to page 51 to start the topic. Alright, so sources of energy. So the sun is the primary source of energy. Okay, all the energy that we have on planet Earth comes either directly or indirectly from the sun. So energy from the sun can be used either directly, okay, so solar energy is used in solar panels to heat water and in photovoltaic cells to convert energy from the sun to electrical energy. As you know, we've already talked about, for example, solar water heaters. The energy from the sun is captured directly and transferred. The heat energy from the sun will be transferred into the water, in the case of solar water heaters, to heat up the water that we use. So instead of using electrical energy, which costs more money to heat up your water, you would use the sun directly. Also in photovoltaic cells, okay, PV cells. So these get the ultraviolet radiation from the sun. We've already talked a bit about ultraviolet, but we'll be talking more about those later on. And they get the ultraviolet rays from the sun and convert them into electrical energy. So you can either use them to heat up water by using a normal water heater, or else you can use the electricity for whatever you would like. So the energy from the sun can also be used indirectly. So the effect it has on weather systems, which are driven by heat energy given off by the sun. Alright, we've already discussed earlier in there that currents, like when we mentioned convection currents, they also exist on a larger scale in weather systems. Okay, we had already discussed that heated air rises above the equator and causes wind around the Earth. Winds carry water vapor, which evaporates from the ocean and produces rain and snow. The wind partly is responsible for the production of waves. Okay, so here we are talking about two other forms of energy that we can use. We're talking about wind energy, alright, as used in wind turbines. It's not extremely commonly used in Malta, but there are some wind turbines, if I'm not mistaken. And also energy in waves, okay, in seas and in currents relating in the sea. Okay, two other forms of energy we will be discussing in more detail later on. Secondly, energy from the sun can be used indirectly through energy in plants. So through photosynthesis, plants convert water and carbon dioxide into new growth by means of energy from the sun. Animals eat plants to get the energy stored in them. So once again, even though it's technically one point in the notes, this has more than one level. Okay, so energy that is stored by the plants. So they store energy, and then we also eat these plants. So that is another source of energy for us. Eventually, these plants can even, instead of just being plants like vegetables or fruit, they can also be trees, which is another form of energy. Furthermore, the plants can then be eaten by animals so that they get energy. But then, since we are omnivores and we eat both plants and other animals, okay, we eat other animals to get energy from them. Okay, so once again, the actual original source of the energy is in fact the sun. So without the sun, it will be extremely difficult for us to survive. Okay, if you remember, we had mentioned that millions of years ago, what actually wiped out the dinosaurs was not the direct hit by the meteor that hit planet Earth, but it was actually that there was so much dust in the air that sunlight couldn't reach the ground, and so the plants died. The animals that ate the plants then died off, and then the animals, meaning dinosaurs that ate the other smaller dinosaurs, then eventually even they died off as well.